And I'll just say, so what do you do when you're with someone and they overdose and you need to use fentanyl?
Somebody calls
Narcan, you mean?
Yeah, Narcan.
I coughed that one time. Jesus, man.
What? I can't hear. Wait.
It's lame.
It's an old, it's a Second World War.
So I can go over that.
Hang on, I want one of the residents
Yeah,
to.
totally.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go on the ground here and not show a face and ask you to just go over the steps because your voice carries well.
Okay, so you have to take your kit and you have to put your, well, I mean, you should put your gloves on, and you should have, the vials have to be shaken so the liquid falls to the bottom, and it's really important. Then you snap with the plastic away from you so that you don't get any glass bits, and then you take your vanishing point needle or a regular needle, and you draw up all of the liquid carefully so as to try not to barb the end when you are inserting it into the tiny little vial. All right, it's not the most major concern, but I mean, so some people pre-draw them. If you can keep track of that, that's great. Or if you think maybe you might need to pre-draw a double one or something, then that's might be a good idea too, because everything's always way more panicky when it's going down, as opposed to when you have the time and clarity to do that. But it's a toss-up, whatever people prefer. Some people are better under those circumstances than I am. I've never actually given a shot, but I prepared a lot, so because
so you prepare shots ahead of time.
Some people take to their roles naturally. Like people are familiar with CPR and will do the breathing, and some people will naturally, like I just run out and I usually give the kits or the preloaded ones to people because I'm not actually a heroin user myself, and they would know better of the indications of their friends than or whoever knows them. But at any given time, that there's always like a half dozen people minimum. I mean, everybody is waiting for word. Everybody that's awake is waiting for word that that person is okay.
Yeah.
And we follow up on that. Yeah.
First, you assess your situation. If there's an overdose, and then you think to yourself, whatever, assessing it, that you check your resources. What do you need? You need Narcan, phone 911.
What are the symptoms of an overdose that you've seen?
Complete, what do you call that? Sedation. Like unresponsiveness. Like that's what we call that. Yeah, like just all senses are not responding to.
Okay.
I mean, before they get there, you want to
shallow breathing, limp body.
Yeah, respiratory problems.
Discoloration to their skin and face.
Okay, discoloration to skin and face. Okay.
Blue is the tarps.
Get yourself some space. And keep calm, and just one at a time. You getting your Narcan out, stuff like that. Having one person there doing that, and just having everybody around, stuff like that. But just
if there's no light, one person holds a flashlight out.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Make
sure there's nothing dangerous around, etc.
What I've ended up doing
so that they don't choke on their vomit in case they throw up.
Right, that's a good one.
Proper position.
I don't even want to learn how to put the stuff out, but I've always wanted to grab
one
stuff.
One of their hands rested underneath their cheek, kind of thing like that, and their legs kind of like not like together, but like separated a bit, like that way.
So they don't
roll back over.
So that's the rescue position in first aid that you're talking about. So they don't choke on their own vomit.
Common sense.
The idea isn't to give them CPR; it's to give them breaths if they have not been breathing, which is usually the case because it works on your respiratory system. And we get to them before they haven't. Their heart stops normally.
Response time here is
a second.
Seconds. I've seen it.
It
really is. It's way better than any other service provider. That's for sure.
And we don't even charge money for this either.
I know, right? And yet they give us a hard time for it.
Bandit.
We know better to do than the cops or the paramedics because they're going to give the guy CPR without giving them breath.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So when you say giving them breath, how do you do that?
You just
There's a little thing that comes in an Narcan thing that you put on over their mouth, and you can give them breath. So
basically, just plug their nose and start pumping her up.
Or just put your shirt over top of their mouth so that you don't catch any upchuck by accident.
Yeah.
At the very, but it's that anything will be good. I mean, that's easy to do, right? You just lift up the bottom of the shirt, put it over their mouth, you pinch their nose, and then you deeply inhale, and then you put your breath up. It's like, so, and then you do that every 4 to 5 seconds. But you give them a couple of deep ones initially when you think they might have been without breath or without a substantial breath for a little bit. So, because I mean, it makes a big difference. Especially if you don't have Narcan, then that's the only time when you might be needed to do CPR if their heart actually stops.
So you've done situations where you've had 4 shots. I know one time you talked about 5, 6 one time.
That wasn't me. That was
someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, that was in this camp and it was recently. So
Yeah.
I mean, we were surprised when the person was taking the second one and the third one because there was only 2 in the kits, right? So then we were opening another kit and making it partial in order to complete the first.
Gotcha.
You know, and then they really quickly actually put 3 into the kit, but now that's not even enough in this one case yesterday. So, but we did have it on hand, and we gave them enough, and they were revived. But
what if you weren't here and you only had 2 in the vicinity where you were? Like, we're lucky you were having them in the kids to do. But if you did need 4 and you were somewhere else, you might not have 4.
Yeah.
So maybe Vancouver Island Health Authority can help make sure that their outreach
come Wednesdays 11 to 1.
Well, maybe they can start bringing extra caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesdays 11 to 1, and you can also go to ABI to get extra refills. That is before 5 or so, because that's when that person is done work. As well as the Kool-Aid Clinic gives out their, and you get a prescription when you do the training. That's free, renewable, as many times as you know. It's indefinite, right?
Yeah. And where do they do the training? Can you say the places in Victoria?
They do it at ABI, and they internally they put the notice up so you can just call them. And they come here for Wednesdays 11 to 1 to do like one-on-one or group training. They're available here for the refill prescriptions and for any training for as many people as want to be trained. And it's only takes like about 15 minutes. Yeah. You know, and then you have your prescription to refill as many times as you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to just make a point that I think is interesting. It's sort of something I've noticed is that with the tent city here, there are a lot of lives saved, and that's amazing. And there's still a lot of individuals out there who are isolated and alone, and I think it's the reason. A lot of deaths. Well, the reason why we need that safe consumption site open, like last year, because the best safe consumption site is a person home, but right now we're in a crisis, and those lives could all be saved. Those people, all those individuals out there, including Metal Mikey, if we had a safe consumption site.